Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today, I'm going to tell you an amazing information about the Google's brand new NotebookLM. I have spent hours, literal hours, testing it, so you don't have to. And let me tell you, this thing is either a genius-level study buddy or the world's most charming learning scam. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Recently, the internet has been going crazy over Google's NotebookLM. People are saying it is the end of traditional studying and the best productivity hack ever. They claim you can upload a textbook and download the knowledge into your brain in 5 minutes. Naturally, many of you asked for my opinion. Is this really the future of learning, or is it just a shiny toy that distracts us? I didn't want to just play with it for 10 minutes. I spent the last week using only AI tools, specifically NotebookLM and ChatGPT, to learn a completely new and difficult subject from scratch: neuroplasticity and behavioral economics. I wanted to see if I could actually remember information and use it just by using these tools. To be honest, the results were scary, but not in the way you might think. When I started, I felt like a genius, but by the end, I realized I had fallen into a dangerous trap. So in this video, we are going to look at the reality of AI study modes. We will look at the difference between just reading information and actually learning it. I will show you where these tools can hurt your brain's growth. But I won't just complain. I will also give you a specific method to use if you actually want to learn faster with AI instead of just pretending to. If you haven't used Google NotebookLM yet, the idea is very attractive. You take a 50-page, boring academic paper, upload it, and the AI answers your questions based on that document. But the feature everyone talks about is the audio overview. You click one button and 2 AI hosts start a podcast about your file. They joke, they laugh, and they use simple examples. It sounds incredibly realistic. So I did exactly that. I put on my headphones, sat back, and listened to the AI podcast. It felt amazing. They made complex ideas sound simple. I thought, whoa, I understand this. It is so much easier than reading. I finished the session feeling very productive, like I had downloaded the knowledge. Everything changed when I went deeper. Because while NotebookLM is extremely good at producing learning materials, I discovered that some of the things it can create can actually stop you from learning. Yep, that happened. Let me explain. To understand why, think about what real learning actually is. Learning is not the cute little summary you highlight but never read again. It's not the mind map you make that looks like a spider trying its best. And it's definitely not the perfect set of notes you copied from someone who actually pays attention in class. Real learning happens in your brain when you do the mental work, when you organize ideas, decide what matters, make connections, choose examples, compare concepts. That process is where understanding comes from, not the finished product, the process. However, 3 hours later, I tested myself. I sat down with a blank piece of paper and tried to draw out the concepts I had just listened to. I couldn't do it. I recognized the words, and I probably would have passed a multiple-choice test, but I couldn't explain the topic. I couldn't use the information. I had only achieved recognition, not true learning. This is the biggest problem with AI learning tools. They are designed to make things easy, but learning requires things to be a little hard. In learning science, there is a concept that says your brain needs to struggle a bit to truly lock in a memory. When NotebookLM creates a perfect summary for you, the AI is doing the struggle, not you. The AI is getting smarter, and you're just watching. During my experiment, I noticed 3 traps that most people fall into. The first is letting the AI do the heavy lifting. When you have a tool that summarizes 100 pages in 5 minutes, you stop reading the original book. You think you just need the main points. But learning happens in the details, not just the summary. When you read a summary, you see the roof of the house, but you don't understand the foundation. The second trap is passive consumption. We are already addicted to consuming content. NotebookLM turns studying into listening to a podcast. When you read a hard book, you stop and think. But when you listen to the smooth AI voices, you don't stop. You don't get confused, so you don't ask deep questions. The third trap is the validation loop. When I asked the chatbot a question, it agreed with me, even when I was slightly wrong, because it is designed to be polite. It made me feel smart, even when I made mistakes. So, should we delete these apps? No. Halfway through the week, I changed my strategy. I stopped treating the AI as a teacher that gives me information. Instead, I started treating it as a simulator. That is when everything changed. If you want to learn faster with AI, you have to use it to produce work, not just consume it. Here is the method that worked. First, the pre-test. Before reading the document, I asked ChatGPT to ask me 5 hard questions about the topic. Realizing what I didn't know made my brain hungry for the answers. Second, the interrogator method. Instead of asking for a summary, I explained the topic to the AI and said, "Critique me brutally. Tell me what I missed." This forced me to actually read and understand the text. I wasn't just collecting information, I was testing it. The Socratic Opponent. While listening to the audio summary, I paused it every 30 seconds. I argued with what the AI said. I looked for logic holes. I wasn't just collecting information, I was testing it. Here's the final score. Ease of use is 10 out of 10. Accuracy is 8 out of 8. For getting simple tasks done, it's a 9 out of 10. But for deep learning, if you use it the normal way, it's a 2 out of 10 because you are building an illusion. But if you use the active methods I mentioned, it's a 10 out of 10. It becomes a powerful speed booster for learning. We live in a time where everyone has access to all information. But because information is easy to get, we value it less. NotebookLM sells you the feeling of being an expert without the hard work. But expertise is a physical change in your brain, and that only happens when you challenge yourself. If you are a student or trying to get a better job, don't let AI steal the struggle from you. Use it to find resources or quiz you, but don't let it do the thinking for you. When you feel overwhelmed, don't click the summarize button immediately. Stay with that difficult feeling for 5 minutes. That is when learning happens. If you stop lifting weights because they are heavy, you won't build muscle. NotebookLM gives you a nice picture of the gym, but you still have to lift the weights. So here's the truth you probably weren't expecting. NotebookLM is one of the best learning assistants ever built, but it's not a teacher, and it shouldn't be treated like one. If you let it handle the small stuff, it makes you faster. But if you let it handle the actual thinking, it makes you weaker. Use NotebookLM to get the big picture quickly. Use it to generate examples, summaries, questions, explainer videos, audio, anything that makes understanding easier. Use it as a launch pad. But when it's time to take notes, build connections, structure a topic, or create your final study map, do that yourself. That's the part that makes you smarter. Once I started using NotebookLM that way, assistant, not architect, it became insanely powerful. It feels like having a study buddy that handles all the boring stuff while you keep your brain free for the important stuff. And honestly, that's exactly how AI should be used for learning. Not to replace your thinking, but to support it. To wrap up, AI is an amplifier. If you're a lazy learner, it will make you faster at being lazy. You will look like you know what you're doing, but your foundation will be empty. But if you're a disciplined learner, this tool is a superpower. It can create custom quizzes and conversations just for you. The choice is yours. Are you using AI to skip the work or to do better work? I will keep NotebookLM in my toolkit, but I will use it as a training partner, not a guru. I suggest you do the same. That's all for today, my friends. I have covered a lot of information on the subject mentioned above. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me and watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye for now, my dear friends.